Hey everybody, this is Lonnie. I want to welcome everybody to the Shit Show Radio Hour studio for the amount of time that it'll still be up. I plan on dismantling the studio last. The two things that I'm gonna break down and box up and move when I get out of my apartment is my studio that I should have used a lot more. I mean, I really should have. I had big plans, and I was too depressed to confront it, and I put this whole radio studio together to do that, and I didn't do shit with it. I have a lot to talk about today, and I'm going to discuss a couple of things that are pretty difficult. Um, we'll get to that in a second. First of all, I'm sorry that I look like shit, but I am uh, attempting to try to box up my shit and move out of my apartment. I have to move out. I have to be out tomorrow, and this has been a long fighting battle that I couldn't get past it. I COVID happened, and when COVID happened, they didn't pay everything. They paid almost everything, but like $1,500, and I couldn't pay that back because my roommate had moved out, and then it became a spiral of depression and isolation that I was too ashamed to talk about. And that's what this recording is about. I want to discuss one of the fundamental moments that caused it to avalanche. And this is really going to be hard to discuss. I don't know if I'll make it through this without tears. But I'm doing this recording because as I get ready to get out of here, um, and don't you think it's ironic that I'm wearing a Shazam shirt? Sorry, I just had to break the tension for a second. Anyway, sorry. But this is my moving shirt. I want people to know I'm moving. I'm moving around. I'm moving. I'm fast. I'm quick. I'm Shazam. The only thing that would have been better is if it was Flash. Anyway, I digress. Um, Several things led to a mass depression. Um, uh, it wasn't just one thing, but um, it was an avalanche of shit. Fuck, that microphone is in my face. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm not really doing a rehearsal thing here. I'm trying to be as honest as I can in this moment. Yeah, several things led to the really painful isolation. I've never experienced depression on this level. Um, it was exhausting. It still is exhausting. I don't have half the shit done that I should have before I move out tomorrow. And I've spent the better half of the last couple of years, just kind of laying in my bed in my bedroom, and depression got so bad that I didn't even want to do the things I loved doing. I couldn't do the podcast, and I came up with excuses, and And it's tough. It's tough to do. It's tough to be in a world where there's a lot of people that are just fucking terrible people. You know, when you feel empathy and you try to connect with people, and that's like your biggest magic, which has always been my comedy. Connecting with people and doing shows. And when COVID came around and took that away from a lot of us comedians, some of us didn't have the opportunity to get it back. I was one of them, but honestly, I was the comedy scene was cut from underneath me, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video. Man, this is tough. I mean, the last thing I wanted to do is talk about this, and the last thing I want to do is talk about other people that fucking ruined my life, to be honest with you. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I've been holding on to this secret since I think around 2017. You know, mid 2017, or maybe it was beginning of 2018. It was before COVID, and this was one of the major things that happened that really set me into a very ugly space. This was during Me Too movement. I was dating someone, and she accused me of sexually abusing her and sexually taking advantage of her, and it was all a fucking lie. And I've never talked about it, and for that we'll get to in a little bit. I've held on to a picture. Don't worry, it's not pornographic. It's nothing like that. I've held on to this picture since this event. I never wanted to share it. That's why it's never been shared. I never brought it up for two reasons. I wanted to spare her any embarrassment and give her every opportunity to try to do something with whatever comedy career she might have had. And the other reason is because there were so many comedians in the Portland community that I loved and respected, and not one of them, not one of them ever came to me and asked me my side of the fucking story. Not one. You guys knew me. You knew I was honest. You knew I would tell you the fucking truth. And not one of you did it. And I didn't want to share this photo because, like, I really didn't want to give anyone the satisfaction. I mean, I've always tried to be as honest and forthcoming as possible. I've given so much respect to comedians, open micers, and, you know, yeah, I'll tell it like it is. It's not always pretty. But I never let any new open micer or comedian ever feel invisible. And I've always been someone who's shared my stories on stage with pure fucking honesty. And not one comedian had the fucking guts to just ask me what my side of the story was. And the Portland Comedy Group wanted to bring me into their little jury and sentence me, and I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of even discussing it. No, I wouldn't do that. I didn't want to share this photo because I just, why in the fuck would I want to defend myself like that when I really deserved enough respect to ask me my side of the fucking story? And here's the thing. I want to, before I share this photo, I want to get a couple of facts straight. She was not a comedian when I met her. I encouraged her to do comedy because I thought she was funny. And I thought that, she had a certain funny charisma off stage that I thought she could bring to the stage. And it turns out that was the part that that was the magic she didn't have. She didn't know how to take it to the stage because she was a fucking drunk. She was an alcoholic and she just drank her fucking. The reason why she wasn't funny on stage is because she was fucking blasted out of her fucking goddamn mind all of the time. But I'm not saying that I wasn't, drinking too, but like when it came to doing a show, no, that's where I did things differently. But the reason why we had a problem is because, well, like I said, she wasn't a comic when we got to know one another, and I didn't manipulate her into bed to have sex with me. I didn't do any. I was not gross and disrespectful. To give you perspective, she met my kids. I introduced her to my kids, and there was one night in particular where we were all having dinner, and she was having a really good time with my boys, and they were having a good time, and I was making dinner because I love to cook, and I was happy. I really liked her. I thought, maybe we would date. Well, that's what I thought we were doing. I would have never introduced her to my fucking boys if she was just pussy. It's just not how I do things. I'm very careful about who I introduce to my family and my friends and the people that I love. You don't get to my inner circle unless there's something that I think is special about you. The reason why we fought, the reason why she had a problem with me, is because, unlike what people think, I didn't use my headlining and my name and my quote-unquote power to manipulate her into fucking me. And that was actually part of the problem, is that she wanted me to put her on shows, and she wanted me to agree with her feelings of the community. She talked shit about the community a lot, especially other women comics. She thought that every other comedian that was a female comic was jealous of her, and that wasn't the case. And it pissed me off because here's the thing: is that I didn't use my power to be like, oh yeah, suck my dick and I'll let you do an open mic at a shit open mic on 122nd and Division, or Stark, or really anywhere. And I mean, just the idea, let me put you up at. That's, I mean, no, no, no. It wasn't like that. Yeah, I mean, my shows were tough. I like my rooms to be tough though, because I think it teaches comics how to be better. I know I did. I mean, I thought she was pretty talented, but the reason why we got into a huge thing about all this shit is that she was talking and she was pissed because she was like, nobody was taking her seriously. So I told her, I go, if you want the honest truth, you're fucking drunk on stage. That's why you're not funny. You're not. Hold on a second. I gotta get my dog out of here. We can't have a serious conversation with the fucking tail. Come on, Oscar. Out. Out. Go. Go. Come on. Go. Oscar, go. Go. Sorry. This is a weird video. Go, dude. Go. I love you, but I've got things to talk about. No, I didn't. No, go. Okay, lay down. Just lay down. Sorry, guys. I just told her, I was like, no, it's because you go on stage and you're fucking blasted. And she did not like that. She didn't like that I wasn't, that it didn't matter to me that, just because we were dating, and we were dating. I mean, I introduced her to Don Frost and his wife, and that's the thing, is that, I mean, it was well known in my circle anyway that we had some form of a relationship. But it didn't matter, because she accused me of being a gross sexual manipulator, and no one asked me if that was true or how it went down. And I was so disappointed that that somebody who'd taken honesty and truth-telling to as far as I can when I'm on stage, that some of the closest people I thought were my friends in the scene I mean, it wasn't that you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. You didn't even ask me. How do we get to the bottom of things that are systemically difficult to deal with if you aren't even willing to have the guts to have the conversation with this person that has been accused? I'm not going to give her last name. Because I don't want anybody fucking with her. But between her and Andy Main, I'll give you Andy Main's name because she's a terrible person, and a lot of this stemmed from her. She helped spread this fucking bullshit. Because she didn't like me because I thought that Andy Main was a terrible fucking human being. I have seen it time and time again. She has treated comedians like shit on and off the stage. And I wouldn't put up with it. She's an ugly fucking person, inside and out. And she didn't like my honesty, and that's fine. Some people don't. But I got tired of her bullshit. I don't think she's a good person, and I hope she never gets stage time again. But I'm not, and never was somebody that could just blackball someone, nor would I. But I tell you, man, if there's anyone out of this situation that I would like to see not get work in Portland again, Andy Main is one of them. I don't think that she should be in comedy. I think she is a despicable person to people behind their backs. She's despicable to them on stage. I've seen it. I've seen her on stage. Troll people. And I think she's a fucking horrible human being. One event that I thought was really interesting with Kelly, that was who I was friends with and cared for. We were having a conversation. She was at a show. And again, she was talking shit about the other comics. And I would have none of it. And out of nowhere, she says, you know, don't use revenge porn against me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have any sex videos of you. And even if I did, like, what? It made no sense. It came out of nowhere. It's like, don't you use revenge porn against me, and then hung up. And I swear to God, for probably a good year, that made no sense to me. And then I realized one day, we were having a conversation on the phone, and people must have walked by. And so she put on a fucking show and told people, or not told people, but then said, don't use revenge porn against me, and hung up. You know, after, a few, and I still got to say, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And anyway, she hung up, and I was very confused. And I can't believe it took me that long to realize that, but that's the truth. Like, that really happened. And so she probably put on a show right when people were walking by, and then when they were like, oh, who are you talking about? And then Lonnie, and let's get to the picture that I've never shown anyone. I've had this picture in my possession since all this shit happened. So just to give perspective here. I'm only sharing it now because I'm losing my apartment because of depression, and that was really the beginning of my depression. And then other major events happened that followed. While doing Lyft on Halloween night in 2019, a guy threw a fucking huge ass rock at my windshield while I was driving a passenger home, and fucked my car up. And Lyft wanted me to pay for it. They said I wasn't in trouble and I'd be back on the streets again, but there was a clause in the rental program that I was in that I was responsible for rock chips and tire damage. And I just felt like, when someone tries to murder you from the side of a highway, I just didn't think that counted as a rock chip. I really didn't. Then my brother died, and that was devastating. COVID. Couldn't do comedy. And health issues. Yeah. So this photo, like I said, is not a porn photo. It does not show her in a disrespectful way. But this photo proves that what we had together was mutual. So let's do that. This is Kelly with the Take Action Plan B that she picked up at Walgreens and took a picture with it in her mouth on the way back. And it, because we were having, fun with it, and it was jovial. And, and so she took a picture of this with, in her mouth to say that, she had got it, and she was going to take Plan B and to make sure that, we didn't do anything that would cause a pregnancy. And it just, the reason why I'm sharing this is, one, I think she forgot that I had it. And I held on to this until now. And I'm sorry that I have to share this, but this is a big fucking part of the reason I shut down. And the photo points out that what we were doing as adults was okay. I did not manipulate this woman into having sex with a fucking disabled comedian. And it was foolish of people not to dig a little deeper. Some of you I will never forget that did this. And some of you I still love, and it's unfortunate. One of the lowest moments, and I have the guy's text. I don't have it with me right now, but if I needed to find it to prove my point, I do fucking have the text. I screenshotted that too. The lowest moment, Justin, I can't think of his fucking last name. Portland comic, or Portland open micer. Let's be honest, he not that funny of a guy. Was giving away a car. He was giving away his car. He was getting a new one, and he was like, if anyone needs the car. And so I text him, and man, I did not want to text him. I didn't, I have been so secretive about letting people know how bad this shit got. That I just really didn't want to. But I texted him and I said, hey, I saw the post that you were going to try to give away that car, and my car was stolen. This was another one of the things that happened during all that time. My car was stolen over Christmas. And I was like, man, if that's still available, I could really use a car. And he wrote me, and at the beginning of the text was a lead-in. And that's what really fucked me up. He said, oh man, no, I totally would. But you're a sexual predator. And man, I fucking bawled. That was so fucking horrible. I couldn't believe I was reading that. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I'm not going to explain myself to you. But the story that you think you know is not true. And he said, I don't give a fuck. Shut your fucking mouth. You sick ass fucking sexual predator. Don't ever fucking contact me again. So yeah, Justin, man. Take a look, man. Other comedians that I dearly loved, that I thought would ask me, didn't. And then, funny enough, a couple of them dated her. So, how fucking stupidly ironic is that? But I just thought, since I'm losing everything because of this thing that really started the whole epicenter of my fucking earthquake, that shut me down, I just felt, let's fucking clear the air. Let's do it. Come on. There is a lot of, look, I'm not a great human, and I've fucked up and I've made mistakes, and you know I've been gross before. There's areas there's a couple of things that I really, bother me that I did. But I grew up, I cleaned up, because I was a serious drinker at that time. And I really tried to be a better person. But, one thing, I'm a very sexual driven person. I talk about it in my act, and it is a part of my life. It's a huge part of my life. When you're crippled, it's like, man, but what can I do good? God, he gave me a pretty good dick, and and that's been a big part of my life. I'm a big part of the kink community, but I take consent really fucking serious, and if we're going to have a discussion about how the culture in our community, in any community, needs to change, we cannot be blind to the fact that not all of it is being told with honesty. And this fucking broke me. So, in closing, fuck you, Andy Main. You're a cunt of a human. And you don't deserve to be in this business. You're mean. You're ornery. And you do a lot of shit behind people's backs. Justin, you're a fucking scum shit. And you don't deserve to be in the scene. And Kelly, you could have done better than lie about this fucking shit. And you all will get the karma you deserve through this moment of clarity on my part. And I'm sorry in a lot of ways that it came to this, but as long as I'm leaving all of this behind and starting a new chapter, and I do want to come back to comedy, I have a lot more to do, and I also want to be more transparent about depression, and especially depression with comedians. And I want to work to make this problem and this moment a moment where it changes the narrative, and I want to help. And if I've hurt anyone, I'm sorry, But I did not hurt Kelly. No, this moment hurt me, and it changed my career. And I just couldn't even fathom being around anyone and wondering whether or not everybody thought I was a fucking sexual predator, when I just thought I had something kind of cool going on with someone. Love you guys. See you on the other side.